Today I'm going to give you an update on the plants that we overwintered in the fall of last year. We're going to take a look and see how they're doing right now in early spring. You're in the garden with Patrick. Last winter, at the end of the growing season, I showed you a video on how we overwintered some plants. I took 3 plants. I'm going to put a link in the description below on that video, but I took 3 plants that were very productive for me during the year, and I overwintered them, what they call overwintering. So I'll show you again. If you're interested in that video, I'll put that link below, and please be sure to subscribe to the channel, and you will be able to see other updates that we do, but you can also see that video that I did on overwintering. So I overwintered 3 plants. One was a jalapeno, one was a shishito pepper, and then the other one was a poblano pepper. All 3 of them were very productive for me throughout the years, so I thought I'd try to keep those plants alive throughout the winter. We showed you how you basically do that, and if you look behind me, you can see the results. It's end of March almost here in zone 8A in Texas, El Paso, and they're already pretty large and pretty bushy with the amount of growth that we have here. So let's take a closer look and let's see what these peppers did over the course of the last 4 or 5 months during the winter, and let's look and see how healthy these plants are. So take a look at the results of our little experiment. We have here, this is our jalapeno plant. It's doing really well. This is my poblano. I'll tell you all about that in just a minute. And then this is the shishito. Shishito pepper is nice and bushy, and it already has some flowers, as you can see, and it's going to be producing here pretty quickly. So my jalapeno's got a lot of growth on it, and there is one little area here that did not take. It looks like it's still a little green, so I'm going to leave some of that, but this part here is pretty much dead. So, and then we have my poblano. Well, just like any gardener, there are things that go wrong, even in Patrick's garden. And this actually was doing very well, and if you could see here, there was some growth that started to happen, and I accidentally left it outside one day and it kind of got a little too cold, and then it shriveled up and died. So this would have done very well, but I neglected it and it died. But I got 2 out of the 3, and it's 2.5 really, because this really did well up until, and literally probably about a month ago. And then we lost her. So anyway, so let's take a look at these, the root structure on both of these plants that we have, and we'll take a closer look. So let's take a look at the root structure here on the shishito pepper, and I'm trying to be as gentle as I can, but take a look. There's a lot of new growth here that's going on, and looks really well developed. So we have 2 options for this for sure. We can either take this and put this in a larger pot, and it'll produce larger fruit for us, or we could plant that straight directly into our garden. And that's what I'm going to be doing here shortly, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Here's our jalapeno plant. We'll pull this out gently also. And again, you can see has some nice root structure in there, even some new growth that's happening. So that's why this is looking pretty good too. So, and as you can tell here, there's a lot of new growth from all these little nodules that are happening. I'm going to just let this kind of grow as it is. I'm not going to prune it very much, and we'll see how this produces throughout the year. So finally, we're going to take a look at this poblano that didn't make it, but it does have good root structure. If you remember from that video that we did before, it had some pretty large roots. So this actually again did very well throughout the year, just with the exception of this last month when I neglected it. But again, as you can see here, did pretty well but it's unfortunately a goner. I've already mapped out my garden, and my sashito pepper is going to go here along with my jalapenos. So I'm going to go ahead and just dig this. Normally I don't go so far down, but I'm going to a little bit deeper today because I have that good root structure, so we want to keep that in there. So I'm just going to dig a hole here. And you know, you might ask, what are some of these different things and structures that I have here in my garden? Well, the first thing is, most importantly, is of course your water system. Your water, I have a grid system that's similar to a square foot gardening method, and that way I don't even have to worry about it. And what you're basically going to do, I'll put a link in a video that I've done with that also, but square foot gardening is probably one of the best things that you could really do. So I'm going to go ahead and just dig this out. And then what I do normally during the year, again, I'll put another link. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel and you won't miss any of these videos. I put a link below with amending your soil. I've already amended the soil and prepared the soil for this growth and that we're going to do here in the spring. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put my sashito pepper here, okay? And as you see here, I also have just some different things that I use, sticks or pipes that I have from old structures that we used, and we're kind of upcycling those. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to take this here, gently pull that out, and then I'm going to place that right in there. I'm going to put a little bit more, I think, dirt underneath some of that soil so it doesn't sit so low. And that is it. Okay, then we'll fill that in. And next we'll have, from the other side, we'll do our jalapeno. You don't ever want to step on your soil, so that's why I have both sides here. And as we're seeing here, just going to pull that out and gently set that in there. Same thing, what I think I'm going to do, go ahead and put, before I set that all the way in there, put a little bit more soil on the, you don't want it too far deep underneath there. And if you want to know what I amend my soil with, I usually use worm castings, I use the leaf mulch, I use my own homemade compost. So that's why I'm not adding any of that stuff in here right now, because I've already done that. And so I'm just basically filling the hole with that. Got a nice little, you can't see it, but there's a worm in there. So those are always great. You know you have good soil when you have those kinds of things. So that is pretty much it. I'll fill in this other one, and that's how you're going to basically take your overwintered plants. Again, you can plant them in your garden like this, or you can plant them into another container. So we'll see how long, hopefully we'll be able to overwinter these again and see how long we can stick with these two plants here over the next couple of years. So be sure to subscribe to the channel to see some updates. Okay, so I'm going to do two more things to finish this up. I'm going to go ahead and place one of these sticks right next to the plant, okay, and that's going to assure that it does help to grow straight up. Okay, sometimes as these plants get larger, they're going to tend to flop over a little bit because of the heavy fruits. So making sure to stay away from that that root structure. When you have something like this, you're going to put that a little bit different positioning here. Okay, so that's it. As it grows up taller, I'm going to stake that to this, and then it should do pretty well and stay, especially with the winds here that we have, it'll make sure to keep the plant safe. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to put some mulch on top of this, and once you're finished with all of that, give it a nice drink of water. That'll help it get established in its new home, And we'll be having jalapenos and sashito peppers a lot sooner than most people, and even what I have in my garden. I'll do an update on my spring planting this year when we put all these plants in, and we'll see how these two grow compared to the other ones that we plant. So Luna and I are finished with our gardening tasks for today, although actually we're not. We're going to take this dirt here and we're going to recycle or upcycle, put some more nutrients in this, and then we're going to reuse that. I'll put a link in a description box below on how I do that. Again, this is perfect dirt. It's great soil for your next garden plant. So be sure to press that like button if you found some value in this video, and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get more updates on how our spring gardening is growing. Until next time, happy gardening.